This is a brave youth named Perseus, bound by foolish pride to an impossible boast. A cruel king would soon demand the head of a deadly monster to seal his fate. Would the young hero find a way to conquer a creature whose very gaze turns flesh to stone? Follow his daring journey into darkness and discover the power of wisdom. King Polydectes deeply desired Perseus' beautiful mother for his own bride. Yet he knew the fiercely protective sun would never allow such a union. The greedy tyrant needed the young man permanently out of the way. A grand banquet was hosted in the royal palace, where every invited guest was strictly expected to offer fine horses as a tribute. Having absolutely no wealth to his name, the desperate boy rashly offered to bring back any prize the king desired. The sinister ruler smiled.
It's all going according to plan. You will obey.
He calmly demanded the severed head of Medusa.
There is no other path.
She was a cursed Gorgon, possessing writhing, venomous snakes for hair and a terrifying face that turned mortals into solid rock instantly. Despair settled heavily over the doomed hero as he wandered alone along the crashing shore. How could a mere boy defeat such an unstoppable curse?
Please, no. I never thought I would see you again.
Suddenly, a brilliant divine light parted the gloomy coastal mist.
My child!
Two radiant immortals stood majestically before the frightened youth on the damp sand. Athena offered him a gleaming bronze shield, polished as bright as any mirror, while Hermes handed over winged sandals and a razor-sharp sword. They commanded him to seek out the three gray sisters to learn the secret path.
Your destiny awaits.
The perilous journey carried him far beyond the edges of the known world. He finally found the withered hags shivering together in a desolate, sunless wasteland. These ancient crones shared only a single eye and one single tooth among their entire miserable trio. Waiting patiently in the creeping shadows, the clever hero watched them bicker endlessly.
No!
As one sister blindly passed the wrinkled eye to another, Perseus leaped forward rapidly. His swift hand snatched the prize right from the freezing air.
No.
The blind sisters wailed wildly.
Where is it?
They desperately begged for their precious vision back, clawing at the dirt.
I can't see.
He promised its safe return only if they revealed the exact location of the Gorgon's hidden lair. Trembling with intense fear, they gave up the secret directions immediately.
To the dark passage.
Perseus returned the eye and flew onward through the freezing skies, eventually receiving a magical pouch and a helmet of invisibility from kindly nymphs. Now fully equipped, the determined warrior descended toward the dreaded island of monsters. Silence hung heavily over the crumbling stone ruins. Statues of terrified men and wild beasts littered the shattered courtyard, frozen forever in their final moments of absolute agony. The foul stench of decay mixed with the dry, dusty wind blowing off the sea. Sleeping deeply inside the ruined temple were the three monstrous Gorgon sisters. Medusa lay quietly in the very center, her scaly, serpentine hair hissing softly in the gloom. The suspense is at its peak. Before we discover this hero's fate, join our community so you will not miss what comes next. Stepping silently into the dark hall,
Welcome,
Perseus
adventurer.
knew perfectly well
Your
that
quest
one
awaits.
single mistake meant
Let's
an
begin.
eternity as a stone statue. He bravely raised the highly polished shield given to him by the wise goddess. Walking backward with extreme caution, he stared only at the smooth bronze surface to avoid her lethal gaze. The monster's dreadful reflection guided his trembling steps closer and closer toward the sleeping beast. His heart pounded like a frantic war drum. He drew his curved blade. He swung downward with all his remaining strength. A single clean strike severed the monstrous head completely from its scaly neck. Dark blood spilled rapidly across the ancient, cracked temple floor. Without ever looking down, he shoved the horrific prize deep into the magical leather pouch. The sudden noise awoke the two immortal sisters, who shrieked in absolute, terrifying fury. They lunged blindly toward the unknown intruder with sharp brass claws fully extended. Perseus quickly placed the dark helmet of invisibility securely upon his head. He vanished into thin air just as their deadly talons struck the empty space where he once stood. The winged sandals lifted him safely into the stormy clouds above the raging sea. Days later, the weary traveler finally returned to the king's grand hall. Polydectes was cruelly celebrating a forced wedding feast. The arrogant tyrant mocked the ragged boy, loudly demanding to see the promised prize. Knowing the danger, Perseus sternly warned his captive mother to turn her face away and close her eyes tightly. He plunged his hand into the rough leather pouch. The monstrous head was pulled completely free. The wicked king and his cruel court stared forward in sudden horror.
No.
Silence fell.
Turn to stone.
In a single heartbeat, their mortal flesh turned entirely to cold, heavy stone. The shattered island was finally freed from the tyrant's wicked grasp forever. True courage always requires a clever mind just as much as a brave heart.